All right. And then so I've been listening to the Crusade podcast. I mean like a lot has happened since I last did a recap, but basically the Fourth Crusade happened. And uh apparently like no one died during it, but like everything was looted, of course. So that was fun. There was some nice antecedents, but it's not really worth going over. So the Fifth Crusade has started. This time they basically have actually gone through with the plan that the Fourth Crusade was supposed to do, which is we're going to attack Egypt and then we're going to stop them. The unfortunate thing was like they got there to Damietta, which is like where they can kind of control the Nile or whatever on the northern side of Cairo, and they get a beachhead and it fails up a little bit because the Muslims had some sort of political situation going on. Um, I think his name was Al Kamil. Was the leader, and so they had to deal with that really quick. But they came back, obviously, but together because it was him and his brother, the leaders of Islam at the time. And then, of course, there was the Turks in the north, and then the Caliph in Baghdad. But the Baghdad Caliph actually never has helped them. But there was actually a revolt in the eastern provinces that they had to take care of, which is why they had to go. And then, so yeah, they made some progress. But the thing was, a few people left, but like a bunch of other people came to the crusade, and it happened like over a year. It's a really long standoff. But they had less people than the Muslims did. But the thing was, there was still too many people for the Muslims to just come over and take him because they had a nice defensive position, the Crusaders. But they were trying to get the Holy Roman Emperor to come over, the Frederick the Second, to come over soon, to try and like win, basically, to like he could turn the tide of battle. There wasn't quite enough people in Damietta to win. But the Muslims actually, what they did was kind of clever. They defortified a bunch of cities in the middle Levant or whatever, including Jerusalem, and they're like, "We'll give you these cities, if you leave Egypt, and we'll have a truce for like a year." And I forget, I think his name was Eulogius, was the leader of the Crusaders, or at least part of them, and he said, "No deal. We'll beat you." And he was just like a pastor or something, so it was kind of interesting. But I think they end up. I don't think I'm quite finished yet, but I think they ended up kind of getting like kind of losing. It was kind of obviously they lost, but like the how they lost was not like that. It wasn't like bad or anything. It wasn't like an ultimate failure by any means. This is actually kind of a competent crusade for the most part. But one thing I did think it was interesting was during this crusade, the Mongol invasions were starting to happen, and they somehow got to the Christians that a guy named David had taken over Persia, but with the his name was actually Genghis Khan, and he wasn't Christian, obviously. Um, so on top of that, they also thought Prester John would come and save them from the south, but that obviously didn't happen either. But now we're waiting for Frederick to come because he's now ready to come, but everyone else is like I think fucked off. So it's a switcheroo.